So you're saying slavery had it right?
Don't be ridiculous. That is not what I am saying.
But you said...
I know what I said. And I know how you got to your absurd conclusion. Stretch that it was, even for you. That is not, however, what I meant, and you know it. Don't grandstand. There's no pulpit here. There's no throng of reporters. This is not a soapbox. It's just you and me and this wall. And even this wall thinks you're an idiot.
Fine. What are you saying then? I cede the floor to the senator from the great state of racism. Just try to stay away from enslaving half the populace, would you?
I never even remotely came close. God, I hate how well you know how to do that to me. Okay. Just keep your trap shut for 20 seconds and I'll explain. Now, where was I?
Oppression.
I said shut it. God. Yes, equality. That was where I left off. The absurd and unnatural concept of equality.
Unnatural, that's a new one.
You can't help yourself, can you? As I was saying, yes, unnatural. The very idea of human equality is absurd. It goes against everything we say or do since the day we were born. From the moment...
What about the Constitution? What? Your 20 seconds were up?
I will stipulate to what the Constitution says, but nothing more. It states specifically that all men are created equal. Equality thereafter is anyone's game. I would argue the game. The idea that one man's life is equal to another is absurd. Is a hobo from Kentucky worth the same as the Pope? You?
Hobo in Kentucky. Interesting.
Would you take this seriously?
I am. So it is by your assertion that there is some great universal scale by which we are all measured and found wanting. But then my question to you is how is this all measured and who does the measuring?
First, I don't pretend to have all the answers.
Could have fooled me.
And as for the second, I live my life day by day to prove that I'm a better man than the one standing next to me. Given my position, that's saying something. I do not, however, believe that the value of a man is based on race, sexual preference, or by what name he calls God. It is through actions, for better or worse, that we are all judged. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how tall would you stand next to your life's work.
Okay, then.
And as for the second, or third for those keeping track, the matter of who does the measuring.
I give in, you win, I surrender, I need not hear any more. You have convinced me.
Good, because I have no fucking idea.
Go fish.
Damn.
Hello?
Mr. President, there's been an incident. Should we move to your office?
Not right now. Go. Get me Admiral Solomon. And I want whoever is in charge and on the scene on this line as soon as possible. And I want you to keep me personally briefed every 20 minutes until this is over. Understood? Good. There's been an incident at Lynn Haven Mall in Virginia. Terrorist forces have seized control of the mall, sealed off all entrances, trapping all the patrons inside. Hostage numbers are measured at 940 to 1100. They're carrying automatic weapons, and they threatened the police with explosives when they arrived. No communications have yet been established. Sharon, I need you to wake everyone up and get them down here as soon as possible. Everyone! Get Director Barton on the phone, and the moment Admiral Solomon is in the building, I need her brought straight to this office. Is that understood?
Not your office?
No.
Okay. Two things.
What?
You're gonna have to use that office eventually.
I know. Just not today. The second?
What aren't you telling me?
What do you mean?
Don't play coy with me. You know exactly what I'm asking. You know exactly what I'm fishing for. You've already got it in your little brain. When a group of men take over a mall, they don't call the president directly. You don't micromanage. You don't have the Secret Service manhandle the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. You don't wake up the director of the CIA in the middle of the night for a domestic incident. And you don't bark at Sharon like that. What are you telling me?
Do you remember the report that we got yesterday on the raid of the chemical weapons factory in Iran?
Yeah, the report said they stole a couple of cases of the ricin neurotoxin.
When the man threatened the police with explosives, they shouted something in Arabic, and they only understood one word. Saifullah.
Shit.
I need options, Colonel. I need casualty projections yesterday.
Any updates?
They've confirmed that they are Saifullah, and what images that we can get of what's going on inside only feed our fear that those crates were, in fact, the toxin. And something more.
What?
A dispersal system. The prevailing theory is some form of rocket for atmospheric detonation.
Of course it is. Because if you're going to have one of the deadliest chemicals in the world and intend on using it, you do your research and go with the single most effective dispersal system known to man. One that makes anything else like spitting in a hamburger.
Now's not the time.
Sorry, just stress.
Jill, can you come in here?
What's the verdict, Mr. President?
I haven't made a decision. Don't call it a verdict. Makes me uneasy.
In a way you are, based solely on your decision in the next few minutes, 1,000 people live or die.
Why do you gotta make things so dramatic? Escalate things like you do.
I use drama to highlight my points, to emphasize the important. And I only escalate things to keep you from making a decision that you don't believe in.
Still wish you could do it without giving me an ulcer. Speaking of which, where are they?
Admiral, I'd forgotten you were here. What are the worst case scenario projections for both sides of the equation?
If we go for the hostages, we can save almost all of them, but it's a guaranteed launch. The casualties estimated at anywhere from 800,000 to 6.2 million.
Why such a broad range?
How much they know about the science behind an atmospheric detonation is unclear.
Your best judgment?
Sir, these men struck with surgical precision, both at the mall and when they secured the weapons. They left very little information behind and only took exactly what they needed to get the job done. They are smart, capable, well-organized, well-funded, and ruthless. I don't think there's an inch of this they haven't planned for.
Those are assumptions. There are too many unknowns to know for sure. We don't even know if they're using rockets. We don't even know if they have the neurotoxin. Everyone seems to forget that little tidbit. We know they're part of Saifullah, and we know Saifullah raided the plant, but no agency can tell us for sure that they ever left the country. Hell, most were even surprised to learn that they did.
What about the crates they brought in and the threats?
Maybe they brought in lunch. And name me a terrorist who hasn't claimed untold devastation at every possible opportunity.
Lunch? 6 heavy and large crates brought in under the cover of darkness and placed at the center of the entire operation. 2 + 2 = 4, not a ham sandwich.
Both of you see a series of events and you only see the worst possible outcome. When you hear hoofballs, you think horses, not zebras.
And what would you have us do? Sit around singing Kumbaya and hope it all works itself out on its own?
No, I'm just saying there are doubts. And you don't murder 1,000 people on assumptions.
Murder?
Enough! Both of you. You're both right and you're both wrong. Bickering isn't gonna help. Jill, he's just trying to get you riled up. And Sam, that was uncalled for.
Then what are your orders?
I don't know yet.
It's murder over genocide. What? It's true. but that fact doesn't make it a wrong decision. Calling the willful killing of any human being anything other than murder is just plain naive. Violence does not beget violence, Mr. President. Just because a man threatens to kill you doesn't mean you get to take his life.
You just called every soldier in history a murderer.
They are, but that doesn't make them wrong. You confuse the two. What is right and what is moral are not always exclusive. I believe that when a soldier does his duty in the defense of his country, that he is always right, and I will defend him to the ends of this earth. However, neither of those facts makes war moral, neither grants us absolution for taking a human life. Okay? The taking of a human life is always immoral.
Then how can allowing the death of millions of innocent people be moral? Sitting back and allowing these men to commit murder and doing nothing while we have the power to do something is equally immoral.
It is.
Then what, Your Highness, is the moral choice here?
I didn't say there was one.
God damn it, Sam!
Yes, God damn it straight to hell, Mr. President, and us along with it for the decisions we must make. The world isn't so simple as black and white, good and evil. The world exists in shades of gray, and we have to deal with it. There is no easy answer. There's no guidebook. There's no formula to follow. Sometimes, Admiral, 2 + 2 does equal a ham sandwich, so we often can't see the answer until we make the decision, run the equation, and eat that goddamn sandwich.
You would have me sacrifice hundreds of thousands of people to keep my conscience clean of 1,000? Should I wash my hands while I do it? Wear a toga? Maybe throw out a little Latin?
I would have you stop asking me. I would have you make your own decisions. Not mine, not hers, but yours.
You would put the whole weight of this decision on his head.
I didn't make that call. I didn't put him in this position. The people did. They elected him to act in their stead. Not me, and certainly not you.
I don't know if I can do this, Sam.
I know, Jeff. I know you fear making the wrong choice. I know you fear that office because you don't want history to repeat itself. I know, and I sympathize. But fear is the mind killer, Jeff. It paralyzes us, makes us shy away from action, and there is no sure path to failure.
How do I decide the worth of life? Kill 1, save 1,000? But what about 1,000 for 1,000,000? When does the ratio go from acceptable loss to mass murder? How does one explain the decision? To this country? To God? To myself?
You can't. The general population can never understand decisions like this. There are too many details, many of which they can never know. No matter what decision you make, you will be vilified and demonized by the media at large.
Damned if I do and damned if I don't.
So it would seem. Liberating, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Jill,
Sir?
give the order. Take out the weapons.
Yes, sir.
How tall can you stand right now?
You know what kills me about this, Sam?
What is that, Mr. President?
If we are measured by our actions, then how does my measurement change after this?
I don't know, Jeff. I just don't know. But I will say this. Maybe there isn't some greater power who measures our actions. Maybe it's us. Maybe we measure our own actions as a people in a tribal mentality sort of a way. Maybe we decide morality. Maybe if enough people believe an action to be moral, it is moral. Who is there to say we are wrong? Maybe action itself decides morality.
Why don't you say maybe a few more times? You're a contradiction, Sam.
I know, Jeff. I know.
Goodbye, Sam.
Sir? Jeff? Jeff?